Hey everyone, welcome to the mysterious world. Beneath the scorching sands of Egypt, where time itself seems to stand still, lies a place shrouded in secrets, a silent realm where the souls of ancient kings await their journey into eternity. In a land where the sun burns mercilessly, there exists a valley veiled in eternal darkness, a place where the boundary between life and death is but a whisper on the desert wind. Welcome to the Valley of the Kings, a remote desert valley in Egypt where the secrets of ancient pharaohs have been buried for thousands of years. Located on the west bank of the Nile, across from the city of Luxor, this valley is one of the most famous archaeological sites in the world. It has captured the imagination of explorers, historians, and tourists alike, offering a glimpse into the grandeur, mysteries, and beliefs of ancient Egypt. The Valley of the Kings is divided into two primary areas. The first is the East Valley, which is home to the majority of the royal tombs, including those of some of the most renowned pharaohs of ancient Egypt. This area has been the focal point of much of the archaeological exploration and research over the centuries. The second section, known as the West Valley or sometimes referred to as the Valley of the Monkeys, is less populated with tombs but still holds significant historical importance. While fewer royal tombs are located here, it remains an intriguing part of the necropolis, contributing to the overall mystique and grandeur of the site. The Valley of the Kings was the final resting place for the pharaohs of the New Kingdom, a period of Egyptian history that lasted from around 1550 to 1070 BCE. During this era, Thebes was the capital of Egypt, and the pharaohs chose to be buried in this remote desert location, away from the hustle and bustle of the city. They believed that by being buried in the valley, they could be closer to the gods and protected from tomb robbers. But why did the pharaohs choose this desolate place for their tombs? The answer lies in their desire for secrecy and security. The Valley of the Kings is located in a natural, hidden gorge, making it difficult for tomb robbers to find the tombs. Moreover, the entrance to each tomb was carefully concealed, and elaborate traps and curses were often set to deter would-be thieves. Despite these precautions, many of the tombs in the Valley of the Kings were looted in antiquity. However, the valley remained a place of great interest for explorers and archaeologists. The first modern excavations in the valley began in the 18th century, but it wasn't until the early 20th century that the most famous discovery was made. In 1922, British archaeologist Howard Carter made a discovery that would change the course of history. After years of searching, he unearthed the tomb of Tutankhamun, a relatively minor pharaoh who ruled for a brief period. The tomb was nearly intact, filled with treasures beyond imagination: golden chariots, jewel-encrusted masks, and a wealth of artifacts that provided an unprecedented glimpse into ancient Egyptian life and death. The discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb was a sensation, sparking a global fascination with ancient Egypt that continues to this day. It also underscored the importance of the Valley of the Kings as a burial site and a repository of ancient knowledge. One of the most famous tombs in the valley is that of Seti I, a pharaoh known for his military conquests and building projects. His tomb is one of the longest and deepest in the valley, featuring exquisite wall paintings that are still vibrant after more than 3,000 years. The Valley of the Kings is home to at least 63 tombs, each belonging to a pharaoh, noble, or high-ranking official. These tombs vary in size and complexity, ranging from simple pits to elaborate complexes with multiple chambers. However, they all share one common feature: they are richly decorated with scenes from the Egyptian afterlife. The tombs are more than just burial sites, they are elaborate guides to the afterlife. The walls are covered with hieroglyphic texts and detailed depictions of the journey that the deceased would undertake after death. These texts include spells from the Book of the Dead, prayers to the gods, and instructions on how to navigate the challenges of the underworld. The design of royal tombs in the Valley of the Kings typically followed a specific architectural plan. Each tomb featured a long, sloping corridor cut into the rock, which descended through a series of halls. These corridors likely symbolized the sun god's journey into the underworld. In the earliest tombs, such as KV-3, the tomb of Thutmose IV, the corridor would turn at a 90-degree angle at least once, and the burial chambers were often shaped like a cartouche, a design known as the bent axis. Once the burial was completed, the upper sections of the corridors were filled with rubble, and the entrance to the tomb was concealed to protect it from intruders. Over time, particularly after the Amarna period, the layout of these tombs evolved. The once curved corridors gradually straightened out, resulting in what is known as the jogged axis. A prime example of this design can be seen in the tomb of Horemheb KV-57, which is still accessible to visitors today. As the tomb's layouts continued to develop, the corridors became almost entirely straight, known as the straight axis, as seen in the tombs of Ramesses III KV-11 and Ramesses X KV-6 from the late 19th and 20th dynasties. Along with this straightening of the corridors, the steep slopes that characterized earlier tombs were reduced and nearly disappeared by the late 20th dynasty. Another common feature of these tombs was the presence of a well, which may have originally served a practical purpose as a barrier to prevent floodwaters from reaching the lower parts of the tomb. However, over time, this feature took on a more symbolic or magical significance, representing a protective or ritualistic element within the tomb. Even in cases where the well was not physically excavated, the well room was often included in the tomb's design, reflecting its continued importance in the architectural tradition of the Valley of the Kings. Most of the royal tombs in the Valley of the Kings were adorned with intricate religious texts and images that held deep spiritual significance. In the earliest tombs, the walls were decorated with scenes from the Amduat, a sacred text that describes the sun god's journey through the 12 hours of the night, symbolizing the cycle of death and rebirth. As time progressed, starting with the reign of Horemheb, tombs began to feature decorations from the Book of Gates. This text depicted the sun god passing through 12 gates that divided the night, ensuring the deceased's safe passage through the afterlife. Initially, these early tombs were relatively sparsely decorated, and those belonging to non-royal individuals were completely undecorated. However, as burial practices evolved, more elaborate texts were introduced. By the late 19th dynasty, the Book of Caverns began to appear in the upper sections of tombs. This text divided the underworld into vast caverns inhabited by deities and the deceased, who awaited the sun god's passage to restore them to life. During the burial of Ramesses III, the Book of the Earth was introduced. This text divided the underworld into 4 sections, culminating in a dramatic scene where the sun disk is pulled from the earth by the primordial goddess Nanit. Starting with the burial of Seti, the ceilings of the burial chambers began to be decorated with what would become formalized as the Book of the Heavens. This text, like the Amduat, detailed the sun's journey through the 12 hours of night. From Seti's time onward, the Litany of Re, a lengthy hymn dedicated to the sun god, also started appearing in the tombs, adding another layer of spiritual meaning to the tomb's decoration. Each burial was equipped with items to ensure a comfortable afterlife, including objects for performing magical rituals such as shabtis and divine figurines. Some items, like Tutankhamun's sandals, were personal belongings used during the king's life, while others were specifically made for the burial. Tombs, filled with valuables, became prime targets for robbers. Thieves frequently plundered these burial chambers and even desecrated mummies to steal precious metals like gold and silver, along with valuable stones, linens, and ointments. Tombs were often looted soon after burial, as many of the treasures were perishable and quickly lost their value over time. The abbreviation KV stands for King's Valley. In 1827, Wilkinson assigned KV numbers to 21 tombs in the East Valley, starting from the valley entrance and moving southward, while labeling for tombs in the West Valley as W1 through WV4. These West Valley tombs were later integrated into the East Valley numbering system as W2 through WV5. Since Wilkinson's time, newly discovered tombs have been added to the list, with numbers ranging from KV1 Ramesses VII to KV64, discovered in 2011. By the early 20th century, 61 tombs had been cleared and documented. Notably, Kivi 5, overlooked for years, was rediscovered in the 1990s. Some tombs are unoccupied, some remain unidentified, and others are simple storage pits. The majority of the accessible tombs, along with most tourist facilities, are located in the East Valley. The Theban Hills, where the Valley of the Kings is located, occasionally experience severe thunderstorms that result in flash floods. These floods are particularly dangerous due to the 7 active flood channels that lead directly into the central part of the valley. Studies suggest that a major flooding event occurred at the end of the 18th dynasty, covering several tombs with meters of debris. Tombs such as KV 55, KV 62, and KV 63 were excavated directly into the valley's original bedrock, indicating that the valley floor was once 5 meters lower than it is today. After this catastrophic event, subsequent dynasties leveled the valley floor, causing future floods to deposit debris further downstream. As a result, the buried tombs were forgotten and remained undiscovered until the early 20th century. This area later became the focus of the Amarna Royal Tombs project, which used ground-scanning radar to identify several anomalies, one of which led to the discovery of KV 63. Today, the tombs are being carefully preserved and studied by archaeologists and conservators. The Valley of the Kings is a delicate and fragile site, and efforts are underway to protect its treasures from the ravages of time, climate, and tourism. Most of the tombs in the Valley of the Kings are not accessible to the public. Although 18 tombs can potentially be opened, they are rarely all available at the same time. Additionally, officials sometimes close open tombs for restoration work. On an average day, the main valley sees between 4,000 and 5,000 tourists, while the West Valley is far less frequented as it has only one tomb open to visitors. The Valley of the Kings is more than just a cemetery. It is a testament to the power, wealth, and beliefs of the ancient Egyptian civilization. The discoveries made here have reshaped our understanding of history and provided invaluable insights into one of the world's most fascinating cultures. Artifacts from the Valley of the Kings are now displayed in museums across the globe, including the Egyptian Museum in Cairo, the British Museum in London, and the Louvre in Paris. These remarkable treasures still fascinate countless visitors, serving as a testament to the incredible accomplishments of ancient Egyptian civilization. As the sun sets over the Valley of the Kings, one can't help but feel the weight of history that hangs in the air. This is a place where the past and present converge, where the mysteries of the pharaohs remain, waiting to be fully understood. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the Valley of the Kings. If you enjoyed this exploration of ancient Egypt, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth history videos. Until next time, keep exploring the past to understand the present.